Ladies and people who like being silly on YouTube, Andy here, author of The Best Tinder Guide on the Internet and original silliest man on YouTube. This is the Kill You're Gonna Loser show. Let's fucking go. I'm wearing goofy outfits and I'm wearing a goofy hat because someone who left a comment on my YouTube channel gave me a really good concept for a video. So something that I have talked about, let me fix this up. Here we go. Look at that sexy shit. So something that I've talked about quite a bit is this idea of not suffering on the process of self-improvement, whether that's getting laid, getting into a relationship, building a business, losing weight, whatever it is that you're currently working on. It is not meant to be pure pain and suffering. So I did a video a while ago, or fairly recently actually, called How to Be Productive When You're Not at Your Best. And in brackets, I called it Suffering is Optional. And a big part of this, or a big concept that I had in this video, is not delaying your happiness and not telling yourself that you have to be suffering, or not making self-improvement this like slog or this like trudging through the mud. It's not meant to be miserable. So that was the concept of the video, and someone left a comment here which I absolutely love. So One Diversity says, great, very few get this. Please remember to repeat this message every now and then, as in the message that you don't have to suffer to reach your goals. While growing your audience, it's so important. So love that comment. I said, yep, it's actually one of my core philosophies, that this self-improvement journey that we're all on is meant to be fun. It's not meant to be pain and suffering. And guys, I see quite a few of you forgetting this from time to time. You will, have these big ambitious goals that you want to work on, or maybe it's even something smaller, like I just want to lose some weight. Or, I want to lose my virginity. I want to feel what it's like to stick my thing inside a woman's thing and go like, boom, 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 chicka, 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 like that. I really want to feel that sort of, fucking penis pussy thing. And you sort of like get so lost up or caught up in the mission of like, I must achieve this goal, that you sort of turn it into a fucking chore. I see so many of you turning your goals into chores, almost like they're whips that you have to crack yourself over the back with continuously and make yourself like suffer. And you will sit there and you will punish yourself if you ever don't work on the goal, or if you have a day where maybe you don't make as much progress as you wanted to, or you make some mistakes, or you stumble, or maybe a girl isn't interested in sleeping with you, or maybe you're too nervous to invite her back and you don't do so. You will then beat yourself up and act as if this is like some fucking crusade that you're on or something. And if you ever stumble, it's like God himself is going to like curse me and smite me and strike me down because I did a bad job of my self-improvement journey. And it's like, this is meant to be fun, isn't the entire reason. As I said in my comment to this my reply to this person's comment, the entire reason that we improve ourselves is because we want to be happy, right? Like, isn't that why you guys want to get laid or start a business or lose weight or have a family? Whatever it is that you guys want, don't you want that because you want to be happy? That's why you want the goal. And so why would you delay your happiness? Why would you, in fact, beat yourself down, beat yourself up, beat yourself both directions simultaneously? Why would you fucking beat yourself up if your mission is to be happy? Beating yourself up doesn't make you happy. So you're literally saying, I have to suffer in order to be happy. What a weird fucking twisted concept that is. I have to be miserable. Or the way that I'm going to be happy is by first being miserable. It's like, does that make any sense? And for a lot of people, that does make sense. They're like, yeah, but you have to suffer in order to get to your goals. No, you don't. I'm here to tell you, you don't. You have to put in effort. You have to sometimes put in a lot of time. There are certain actions you may have to take, but that process doesn't have to be miserable. That process doesn't have to suck. That process doesn't have to hurt. You don't have to bleed. You don't have to, have blood, sweat, and tears on the battlefield. With women, getting laid or getting into a relationship doesn't have to be this fucking combat sport, this battle of like, how do I get her to fuck me? It's like, it doesn't have to be that at all. It can be this very sort of like loving, this very, self-actualized, what am I trying to say? This very like higher level sort of frequency, if you want to talk in those terms. I sound like Joe Rogan right now, but it doesn't have to, you don't have to like lower yourself down to suffering. You can raise yourself up to joy and enjoyment and peace and just waking up every day feeling grateful that you get to work on this shit. And so, I see too many of you beating yourselves up anytime, like I said, you make a mistake, anytime you don't get your goal, or anytime there's a setback. which happens when you're working on any goals. Like, no goal is smooth. You don't just like go from A to B and there's not like 7,000 detours. There's a million different hurdles that will throw themselves like in your way. There's things you won't be expecting. There's things you won't have planned for, because how could you possibly plan for them? You don't know what's going to come up when you start working on these goals. Good Looking Loser wrote a really good article called "This Process Will Strip You Down and Force You to Confront Your Real Issues." And the point that he made was, as you start working on your self-improvement, a bunch of shit will come up. All of the doubts, all of the insecurities, that voice in your head that says you're not good enough, or that you don't deserve this, or maybe other people deserve this but not you. All of the limiting beliefs will come up. All of that shit will sort of present itself, and you might not have been ready for that stuff. And so working through that, or realizing that that stuff will come up, you have to sort of like fall in love with the journey, so to speak, because there are going to be a lot of things that come up that don't go your way. And if you look at each one of those and go like, no, fuck, like, why is this happening? Like, why is this woman making me feel insecure? Or like, why am I see so many of you beating yourself up for your own emotions. You're like, why do I feel insecure about this? Why am I worried about this? I shouldn't be negative. Like, why am I being so negative? And it's like, that's what this process is. This process is you getting the magnifying glass and putting it over your own insecurities, or your fears, or your doubts, or the things that you've hidden from yourself and from the rest of the world, and examining them and processing them and improving them and, working through them and all of that sort of thing. And there's going to be a bunch of that stuff that comes up. And if you sit there and suffer through that, if you choose to call that suffering, and it is a choice, you get to choose not to call that suffering. You can call that just part of the game. This is the game. This is the game that I decided to play. Self-improvement. Yeah, a lot of stuff is going to come up. A lot of hurdles are going to come up. If you just choose to call that part of what this is, if you choose to be a little more stoic about it and just say like, yeah, I'm just working on myself. Some shit's going to come up. Sometimes women aren't going to give me what I want. Sometimes the business world isn't going to give me the money that I want. Sometimes my weight's going to go up even though I stuck to my calories perfectly. Sometimes the gym is going to be closed and there's nothing I can do about it. Like, sometimes that shit is going to happen. And if you just sort of accept it and say, hey, I'll be stoic. It is what it is. Yeah, some hurdles came up. I'd love for this to be a smooth journey, but it's not. I'd love to just have my goals right now, but I can't. Sometimes people get frustrated about that too. I see a lot of you get frustrated about that. You're like, why does it take so long? Why can't I have my goals right now? I want them right now. It's almost a sense, or it is a sense of entitlement, and you don't realize that it is that, but it can become a sense of entitlement where you're like, I should just get my goals right now. I've gone out and I've taken a bunch of new Tinder pictures, and yet I don't have like twice as many matches. Like, how come I don't have more matches? And it's like, well, because that's what happens sometimes. You're not just entitled to whatever you think you are, but when you battle with reality, as in when you sit there and go like, I should have more matches, this isn't fair, or like, women shouldn't fucking reject me, or women shouldn't care that I haven't improved myself and that I'm still, morbidly obese, they should just give me what I want. When you fight reality, and when you sit there and let yourself get frustrated and you let yourself suffer and you tell yourself stories of how this sucks and this is painful and this isn't fair, and it would be easier for me if I was white and tall, or it would be easier for me if I was this, or it would be easier if I, it's not fair because like growing up my parents gave me a lot of food and I'm fat, and now I have to lose all this weight, and that's not fair. It'd be so much easier if my parents hadn't done that. When you sit there and make yourself suffer, you're just making yourself miserable. And it's worth taking a step back and reminding yourself that, again, the whole point of this journey is to be happy. It's what you're all here for. It's what you want, right? You want to be happy. So skip the middleman and be happy now. And then you can also work on your goals alongside that. You don't have to delay your happiness. You don't have to put your happiness off and say, when I achieve X, Y, Z, then I can be happy. When I've lost my virginity, then I'll be happy. The truth is, no, you won't. You'll be happy for a couple of weeks. Every single person who ever achieves a goal that they thought was going to make them happy, they go through this process. They're happy for a couple of weeks, sometimes a month. It's never really more than that. Sometimes it only lasts a couple of days. And then they will just invent the next reason why they have to be unhappy. They'll say, well, that's good, but I'm still not where I need to be. I still haven't done as much as other people. I still, I haven't had a threesome, or I haven't started my own business. They'll do those things. And then they'll go, yeah, but like I'm not a millionaire yet. There's plenty of people on YouTube who are millionaires and I'm not, so I must be a loser. Okay, I got to get $1 million and then I'll be happy. And it's like you'll just keep playing this game forever. You will keep moving the goalposts. You'll keep coming up with new reasons why you're not happy. You'll keep inventing reasons to suffer because you have a habit of suffering. It's literally just a habit. And so if you beat yourself up and if you suffer and if you tell yourself this process is hard or that it's meant to be miserable or that you have to bleed on the battlefield and all of that kind of stuff, you are developing or you're building a habit of suffering. You're making it easier to continue suffering in future. And more to the point, you're running away from happiness. You're making it harder to be happy. When things come into your life that might make you happy, as in you might find some amazing woman, you might have a bunch of sex, you might reach some of your goals. When that stuff comes into your life, because you haven't practiced happiness, you won't know how to be happy. You'll be uncomfortable in happiness. I've seen this with so many coaching clients and so many people on my forums and some of you in the YouTube comments. It's like you don't know how to be happy because you haven't practiced happiness. Happiness is a skill in itself that you need to learn. Or another way of saying that is gratitude is a skill that you need to learn. And if you're not good at being happy, if you're not good at being grateful, if you don't know how to recognize the wonderful things that you have in your life, and all of us have abundance, even if you don't have an abundance of women right now, or you don't have an abundance of money, you have an abundance of a bunch of other things. You can look around your room right now that you're sitting in and be grateful for all the things that you do have. You have an abundance of opportunities. You have an abundance of possible goals that you could work on. You have an abundance of information on the internet for free, which is insane. You have an abundance of technology and things that are willing to help you. You have a bunch of people that are willing to help you. You have my entire forums who will help you for free. You have me who will help you for money. You have, I'll even help you with video. I do these videos for free, don't I? So I will help you for free as well. You have a bunch of friends that will help you. If you don't have any friends, you have meetup.com, so you can go and make friends. You have a huge abundance of opportunities out there. And so we all have abundance. And if you're not embracing that and being grateful for that and practicing your gratitude and practicing your happiness, then like I said, when you do reach your goals, you won't know what to do with yourself. You won't know how to be happy because you're uncomfortable in happiness. You haven't built the skill. You don't know how to be grateful for the goals that you've reached. And again, I've seen quite a few coaching clients who do this. Probably the best example was Renee. You can go and watch the video. Just search for Renee on my channel. Go and watch the podcast that I did with him. And this is a guy who came to my coaching program and he hadn't slept with many women. I think he'd only slept with like 2 women in his whole life or something like that. Or maybe it was like he'd only had sex like 4 times or something and it was with only 2 women or something. He hadn't had a lot of sex. And within his first 2 weeks, I think he slept with like 2 new women and had a threesome. In his like second week of coaching, he had a fucking threesome. I think it was the second week. You go back and watch the video, so don't quote me on that. But it was within the first couple of weeks. He had a threesome and he had sex with 2 new women. And he, think about how for a lot of you, that would just be like the most, you'd be on like cloud 9, right? You'd just be fucking zen. You'd be up there in the clouds just going like, I am God. I have had a threesome. My life is complete. Like you'd be so fucking happy, right? And this guy you'd think would be happy too. He hasn't had much sex. Like he's just had a fucking threesome. Everyone in the group, in the coaching program is saying like, oh my God, dude, this is amazing. Like you still have like 10 weeks of coaching left. What the hell are you going to do? This is amazing. And yet he wrote this long post in the group about how he wasn't good enough, how he didn't do enough, like he had a lazy weekend or something and he wasn't trying hard enough and he needs to take more action and he needs to achieve his next couple of goals and he's been really lazy and he's feeling depressed and stuff. And I pointed out to him and I said, mate, if you can't be happy after you have just had sex with 2 new women and a threesome in your second week of coaching, when are you ever going to be happy? What will it take for you to be happy? If you can't be happy a day after you have a threesome, you can't be grateful a day after you have a fucking threesome with 2 beautiful women that are really grateful to be with you and want to keep seeing you and have more threesomes. If you can't be grateful and happy after that, when are you ever going to be happy? And that just like hit him like a ton of fucking bricks. His mind just exploded and he thought, he wrote this big long post and he said, oh my God, you're right. Like, I'm literally making reasons to be unhappy. I don't know how to be happy. Andy, I don't know how to be grateful. And so I had to sort of like teach him. It was really just giving him permission to be grateful. But he had to learn the skill of being happy. or learn the skill of appreciation, or learn the skill of gratitude, learn the skill of saying like, hey, I did something cool, or I have something amazing in my life, or how cool is this, life that I've been given, these opportunities that I've been given. And so that's an extreme example, sure, but I see so many people that achieve their goals and then just sit there and come up with another reason to be unhappy, or to seek out, to engineer suffering and misery. And that's what you're doing. That's what a lot of you are doing. You're engineering reasons to be unhappy. You are engineering your own suffering. You're putting yourself in a prison of your own choosing, of your own making. You don't know you're doing it, so I'm not saying that to blame you or something, but you are running towards suffering. You're telling yourself stories of like, I have to suffer to reach my goals. I have to work really fucking hard. It has to be a slog. I can't enjoy it. I can't ever just stop and tell myself that I'm grateful for what I have right now. I can't take a pause for even half a second and just be happy with where I am and then keep working on my goals. One of the things that I get every single one of my coaching clients to do, and I would like all of you listening to do it as well. You can do it if you want to. You're a big boy or a big girl, but I recommend you do this, is take one day off a week, every single week, without fail. Write it in your calendar. Make it like sacred that you don't fuck with this day. You never do anything on that day. You don't even really see your friend, although you can see your friends if you want to, but don't do any work is what I guess I'm getting at. Don't do any sort of work. Don't do any self-improvement. Don't get lazy and go backwards. Like, I'm not saying go binge eat and watch porn and fucking, play video games and smoke weed for 7 hours and get obese and be depressed. Like, I'm not saying that. Do something like that makes you happy on that day. Hang out with your friends, go for a walk. You can do some self-improvement stuff as long as it's not work. Do you get what I mean? Like, you can go to the gym or something, but I just have the day completely off. I don't go to the gym. I don't do anything. I don't reply to any emails or read any Facebook comments or go in my coaching program. I do nothing. And I just spend the day with my girlfriend Imogen and we go on a road trip. And I tell all my coaching clients to do this because that one day a week reminds you to step back from your self-improvement, step back from your goals, and remind yourself that, like, you know what? I have a lot to be grateful for right now. Even if you haven't achieved any goals and you're really depressed, you have some things to be grateful for. Like I said, be grateful for YouTube. Be grateful for me sitting here right now wearing this goofy hat, which is really fucking uncomfortable. This is like digging into my fucking neck because this thing is like 7 sizes too small for my big fucking chunky head. But be grateful for me sitting here in this dumbass fucking hat trying to make you smile, trying to remind you that, yeah, I take myself pretty seriously. I take my channel pretty seriously. I take self-improvement pretty seriously. I take the responsibility of helping you guys change your life. I take that pretty seriously. But I can sit here and wear a goofy, dumb fucking hat and look like a retard and wear this goofy fucking beautiful bow tie because this isn't all just 100% serious 100% of the time. If you want to take it seriously, sure, but just don't make yourself suffer. You know what I mean? Don't sit there and tell yourself, I'll only be happy when I reach a goal, or I will only be happy when I'm as good as other people in the community, or, I have to lose my virginity before I'm allowed to be happy. I'm a loser before that, and I'm going to be miserable before that. No. Take a step back. Think of all the things in your life that you have to be grateful for. Write a list. I do this every single fucking night. I will write a list of 5 to 10 things that I'm grateful for every night. I don't ever miss that. I will never miss that. For the rest of my life, I'll do that. Well, I can't guarantee I'll do it for the rest of my life. Right now, I would like to make a promise to myself that I'll do it for the rest of my life and that I will stick to that because it's ridiculously helpful. I've done it for about a year now at this point, something like that. So coming up with reasons to be grateful, having one day off a week. I've had that one day off a week. I've done that for like 2 years or something at this point. It's just been like a godsend. And I've never fucked with that day. Like, I can't do anything on that day. I can't move it or reschedule it or, I just do a little bit of work. No. That's like fucking sacred. That's in my calendar. That's like going to church on Sundays if you're religious. I don't mess with that day. No one messes with that day. Rain, hail, or shine, I'm going to have my day off. And I would recommend you guys do the same thing to remind yourself that, like, hey, I'm meant to be happy on this journey. The reason I'm doing this is to be happy. The reason I'm going for my goals is because I want to be happy. You can be happy right now. Skip the middleman, be happy right now. And I kind of stole that quote. That's a quote from Byron Katie. She says, like, hey, skip the middleman and be happy right now, while you work on your goals. So full shout outs to my woman, Byron Katie. Fucking respect. She's my G. But yeah, you guys, you don't have to suffer. You don't have to suffer to reach your goals. You don't have to suffer while you work on self-improvement. You don't have to delay your happiness until you reach a certain fucking goal, because I'm promising you, I've seen thousands of people at this point that will reach a goal and then just put off their happiness, and they don't know what to do with themselves. They're like a dog chasing a fucking car. When they catch up to the car, they're like, oh shit, what do I do now? And I see so many of you that chase a goal, you reach the goal, you achieve it, you do greatness, you're like, oh fuck, what do I do now? I'm not happy. Fuck, why am I not happy? Fuck, maybe I need to go and have sex with more women. And it's like, that's not the answer. You're seeking the answer in something external. The answer is within you. The answer is, hey, take a break and be grateful for what I have. Even just one day a week, take that break. Every single night, what am I grateful for? What have I achieved? It's why I do these recaps once a year. On New Year's Eve, I will sit down. I don't do it on New Year's Eve, but like I will at New Year's Eve think about all the things I'm grateful for, and then the next day I will record a podcast and I put them on the channel every single year of all the things that I achieved that year. And that's not just to brag and jerk myself off. It's to remind myself to be grateful for the things that I achieved that year, the things that I have now that I didn't have a year ago, the things that I said, man, if I could ever achieve this goal, like I'd be so happy. Like reminding myself that at some point I said I would give anything to have this goal, and now I have it. Like that's worth fucking being grateful for. You don't get to just move, or you can do what you want, but if you sit there and move the goalpost every single time you reach a goal, I'm telling you, you're just going to be miserable. The way to happiness is to be happy now and work on your goals so you can be even happier in the future and your life can be even cooler and you can have the things you want. Sure, yes, of course. That's why we're all working on goals, so that we can be even happier. But that doesn't mean you get to be unhappy right now. Or that's just not a smart solution. One final thing I want you guys to think about is who gets more done? Who's more productive? The person who is unhappy and suffering, or the person who is happy and not suffering? Very fucking simple question, isn't it? Who is more productive? Very fucking simple question, very fucking simple answer. The person who is happy and isn't in pain and isn't suffering and isn't miserable, that person's capable of 10 times more than the person who's depressed and miserable and suffering and going like, oh my God, I can't be happy until I reach my goal. It's way easier to get shit done when you're happy and when you're in a good mood, isn't it? So the most productive thing you could ever do, if you really care about your self-improvement and your goals that much, the smartest thing you could ever do is be happy while you work on your goals. Be grateful every single day. Put some time aside to come up with things you're grateful for every day. It only takes like 5 minutes a night. Put one day a week aside to sit there and come up with things you're grateful for, to have a bit of fun. Good Looking Loser used to say this all the time. He did an article called The Life or Death Test. And he said every single year you want to have at least 15 amazing, mind-blowing, like, best experiences that you've had. Every year you want to have at least 15 of those. I go one step further and say have fucking 50 of those, have 100 of those, have 1,000 of those. Like, you can make every day like that. But Good Looking Loser was definitely onto something when he said, like, you know, just, we were saying the same thing. I just go a little further. I think happiness is even more important than he stressed. But the point is that a lot of you look up to him and he was fucking stressing that. He was saying like, hey, you got to have at least 15 days that just blow your mind every single year. At least 15. Again, I go further and say have 50, have 100 of those, have 365. My goal is to have 365 of those. I'm not quite there yet. At this point, it's probably 300 days a year that blow my mind. It's every second day. It's more than that. It's most days I wake up and the things like the gratitude exercises, they blow your fucking mind. They make you feel good. There are times where I'll sit there and I'll come up with all the things that I'm grateful for and I'll just start fucking crying because I'm just like, this is the most like fucking god tier life that I could ever imagine. I'm so blessed to have all this stuff. I'm so blessed to just be here in abundance. What a fucking great gift that I have been given. What an amazing journey that I'm still on. You know, I'm just freaking grateful for everything. I'm so happy. I don't sit there and say, oh, you know, I can't be happy until I have $50,000 a month, every single month, consistently, passive income. Like, I can't be happy till then. Or, you know, I can't be happy till my body is elite. You know, my body isn't where I want it to be yet. You know, I need more muscle. I need to be lean. Like, I can't be happy till that. I'm a loser until I get there. Or how easy would it be for me? And I'm sure most of you would do that. I'm sure a lot of you would do this. If you had a YouTube channel and you only had 2,500 subscribers like I do right now, you'd go like, oh, you know, I'm such a loser. My channel's so small. I can't be happy till it's at 50,000. You know, I'm just a small, pathetic channel. Like, you know, it's not even worth it. Like, I need to get to 50. You'd make a reason to be unhappy. You'd suffer through that. But I wake up every day and I'm like, man, how fucking beautiful is it that 2,500 people gave enough of a shit what I, some bald, red hat wearing fucking freak, beautiful freak, I mean freak in a good way, some red hat wearing bald motherfucker, what that guy has to say. 2,500 people care enough to click a subscribe button when I, by the way, have never, okay, there might be one video somewhere, I'm sure, but like, when have I ever told you guys, like, hey, click the subscribe button, make sure you like and subscribe? I didn't even tell you guys to fucking do that because I respect your intelligence enough to not tell you what to fucking do. Like, oh, click the subscribe button, you retard. Like, and so with me not even telling you to do it, which by the way, massively lowers how many people subscribe. Massively. Me not even telling you to do it. 2,500 people give enough of a shit what I have to say. That's worth being grateful for. But I could, like I said, sit there and go, yeah, but like my channel's pathetically small. Like, you know, other people have 100,000. Plenty of dating coaches have like 200,000 fucking followers. I could say like, man, what's even the point? I'm so small. Like, no one cares what I have to say. Like, I put my heart and soul into this content and it doesn't even work out. I think a lot of you would agree that I really pour my heart and soul into a lot of this content. Yes, I'm just sitting here and doing a fucking free-for-all, like, you know, a diarrhea of thought, a conscious stream, a continuous stream of thought. But like, find me another channel that can talk for 1 hour and fucking 15 minutes non-stop without taking a break by themselves and not be boring and not say and not take pauses and not miss the point of what they're saying and give you actionable, hopefully good advice. I pour my heart and soul into this. And so I could very much sit there and say, it's not fair. The algorithm doesn't like me. YouTube doesn't like me. Maybe it's my content. You know, getting laid content will never do as well as if I just talked about like text game. And I could sit there and get very butthurt, couldn't I? I could come up with a million reasons why it's not fair, or, you know, oh, I put so much time and effort and I'm not appreciated and, you know, I don't get enough coaching clients and blah, blah. I could just invent reasons to be unhappy. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be unhappy. My mission is to be happy. And so I sit here every day and I'm fucking grateful. And I don't even have to like tell myself to be grateful. I just am grateful because I've built a habit of gratitude. And so at the start, you might have to force your gratitude. You might have to force being happy. You might have to just go through the motions and tell yourself 10 things you're grateful for. Even if you don't believe them, keep doing it every day. At some point, it becomes this habit that you just do automatically. You just are a grateful person. You've literally trained yourself into being a grateful person without even trying. You don't even mean to do it. You're just grateful. You just have become grateful. I've had to do that. And so I wake up, or I have done that, I should say. And so I wake up every day grateful for all of you. On my Spotify channel, so I have a separate podcast on top of this YouTube channel. So go and check out. I love how earlier I said I don't even say and then I just fucking said didn't I? So let's not say for the rest of the podcast, but I have a separate Spotify podcast with plenty more content, you know, very similar, basically the same content that I'm doing here. I've done 2 podcasts in the last week. The second one wouldn't have released yet it would have released by the time you guys listen to this. So I've done 2 podcasts in the last week, just saying how freaking grateful I am for all of you. I can't help it. Like, I'm in such a beautiful position. 2,500 people give a shit what I say, and plenty more on Spotify, and then plenty more on my blog. There's like another 1,000 people on Spotify or something that are subscribed, or Spotify plus Apple, like all the platforms combined. And then my blog gets like 10,000 fucking views every week. Like, it's amazing. You guys are absolutely amazing. And I can't help but just like be grateful and love my life every single day. And the clients of mine that achieve the most, the clients of mine that go the furthest, the people on my forums that go the furthest, are the people that wake up every day and they're just happy for their goals. Yeah, sometimes they suffer. You know, no one's perfect. I suffer too sometimes. The mission is to try and suffer as little as possible, not to just completely eliminate all suffering. Although I would like to do that at some point, but you don't have to be perfect is what I'm saying. But so many of my clients and people on my forums and people that email me, the ones that have done the best are the ones that have learned how to be grateful and happy for the journey rather than the destination. Yes, the destination is great too, but like the point of all of this is to be happy. The point of all of this is to have fun. Good Looking Losers said it best. Like, this whole process is meant to be fun. It's not meant to be a slog. It's meant to be fun. Aren't we here to have fun? And I think a lot of people in general who are into self-improvement, or a lot of people in general who have a goal, they forget that the entire reason of the goal was to have fun, to be happy, to get to a place where, you know, you're fucking great all the time and you're happy and you're smiling. Again, Byron Katie quote, skip the middleman and just be happy now. I think I'll wrap up there. 29 minutes and 37 seconds of a stream of consciousness. Again, Find me another fucking YouTube channel that does that. There's actually plenty. I can think of like 10 off the top of my head right now. I've always really liked that. That's something I had to build up towards, to being able to just talk for like 30 minutes and not lose track of where you are. It's a skill you definitely learn. It's a skill you improve. And I mean, hey, it's like everything else, right? Like I really sucked at the start. Look at me like jerking my dick off right now and saying in a podcast when I said I wouldn't do that. Oh my fucking God, what a loser. Leave a comment below about how this guy's just like, you're going to unsubscribe from the channel and you're never going to listen to his content again. But I really appreciate you guys being here. You don't have to suffer. This process is meant to be fun. We're all here to be happy. Skip the middleman. Have that one day off a week. Every night come up with some things that you're grateful for, and just remember that you live in a time and a place and a universe and all of that of abundance. We have so much fucking shit. Yes, maybe you want a little more money. Maybe you want more women. Maybe you're feeling a little depressed and you want to pull yourself out of that. Whatever it is, sure. We all have ambitions. We all have things that we would like that are more than we currently have. That's kind of the beauty of humanity, that drive to achieve more and to have more and to see more and to do more. Yes, that's fucking beautiful. It's what has caused us to rise to the top of the hierarchy, I guess, on this planet so far. It's a beautiful thing, but remind yourself that that journey is exactly that. It's a beautiful thing. It's not a destination that you get to. It's a fucking journey. I'm literally using the meme of like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, because it's fucking true. There's a reason some of these memes or these sayings or these quotes exist, because there's truth in them. So don't put your happiness off. Be happy right now. If you still need help with this, you want a bit of coaching, I offer that. I have group coaching, which is a lot cheaper and more affordable. I have one-on-one coaching, which was my VIP, experience. I will sit down with you. I will build you the life you want. I will push you. I will help you. I have payment plans if money is an issue, so don't let that be an excuse. There's a link in the description below, but I want you guys to go out there. I want you to crush your goals, but more than that, I want you to have fun while you're working on them. The whole process of crushing your goals is meant to be fun. It's not like I will be happy when I crush my goals, and I hope that comes across when I say go crush your goals. Maybe for this one, I'll say go crush your goals and have fun while you do it.